Ripa and Mark Consuelos face major show shakeup. For decades, Live with Kelly and Mark has been a cornerstone of American morning television, a place where celebrity guests, heartfelt interviews, comedy bits, and the dynamic chemistry between the hosts set the tone for millions of viewers' days. And yet, in the ever-evolving world of TV, even the most established shows can find themselves navigating unexpected twists. Recently, Ripa and Mark Consuelos, the beloved co-hosts and real-life married couple, faced one of the most unusual shakeups in the show's recent history. What began as a routine broadcast turned into a moment that has audiences buzzing, critics debating, and fans reflecting on what it means for the future of daytime television. The calm before the storm, the usual energy most weekday mornings, the show kicks off with high energy. Kelly's quick wit, Mark's charismatic presence, and the rapport they've built keep live with Kelly and Mark feeling fresh and personable. The duo's interplay has become part of the show's identity since Mark stepped into the co-host chair full-time following Ryan Seacrest's departure in 2023. Their chemistry isn't just professional, it's personal. Married since 1996, they first met on the set of All My Children, and their journey from soap opera co-stars to morning television staples has been one of those rare Hollywood success stories. Over the years, they shared laughs, life stories, and even personal challenges on air, endearing themselves to viewers across generations. But even the most seasoned hosts can find themselves facing unexpected hurdles. A rare empty audience, winter storm forces change. On January 27, 2026, New York City experienced one of its most severe winter weather events in years. Winter Storm Fern, which brought heavy snow and hazardous conditions across much of the Northeast. The storm was so widespread and intense that a state of emergency was declared in NYC to keep residents safe. In a rare move, production executives made the difficult decision to cancel the live studio audience for that day's broadcast. For a show so deeply rooted in audience interaction, laughter, and shared energy, this was no small change. Morning talk shows thrive on that live feedback, the applause, the spontaneous reactions, the community feeling that makes viewers feel like they're part of something bigger. Kelly and Mark, ever professional, carried on with the show despite the eerie quiet in the studio. With only a handful of crew members present, Ripa quipped with trademark humor, joking, "That's loud for 6 of you. We are audience-free today, with the exception of the people that already work here." The absence of a cheering crowd was noticeable, but so was the duo's determination to keep the show engaging. In some ways, this unexpected pivot gave audiences at home a behind-the-scenes glimpse into how much of morning television is crafted and what happens when one of its key elements goes missing. Hosting rotation and guest fill-ins, a ripple effect. This wasn't the first time fans noticed an unusual rhythm in the show's hosting lineup. Earlier this season, comedian Steve Patterson stepped in for Mark on a Monday episode, offering lighthearted banter and unexpected energy that many viewers praised. And beyond that, Live with Kelly and Mark hosted special sit-downs that felt reflective and a bit nostalgic, including a conversation with returning host Ryan Seacrest, which stirred commentary among viewers both excited and surprised by his guest appearance. These moments have given fans a sense that the show, while steady and consistent, is not immune to the ebbs and flows of television, life, and creative reinvention. Beyond the shake-up, Mark's Broadway breakthrough. While the immediate buzz around the show centered on a live broadcast without an audience, there's another exciting career twist unfolding behind the scenes. Mark Consuelos' Broadway debut. Mark has signed on to star in Noel Coward's Fallen Angels, a stage production that opens in the spring of 2026. The news dropped during a live episode, catching many viewers by surprise and instantly sparking conversation about how the actor will balance this theatrical commitment with his daily responsibilities on television. The announcement was filled with joy, admiration, and even some personal reflection from both Mark and Kelly. Kelly shared some of the anxiety and excitement that surfaced as her husband prepared for this big step back into stage acting, a realm he hasn't fully explored in years. In addition to Mark's Broadway role, their youngest son Joaquin is also stepping into the theater world, performing in Death of a Salesman. The dual theater debuts have become a family milestone and added a heartwarming layer to the shake-up narrative. Fans have reacted with enthusiasm, flooding social media with support for both father and son. Fan reactions, a mix of surprise, support, and nostalgia. The response from live audiences has been multifaceted. On social platforms, fans have shown admiration for Kelly and Mark's resilience, praising how they handled the snowstorm broadcast with grace and humor. Many pointed out that moments like these remind viewers why they tune in every morning, for authenticity, spontaneity, and a sense that anything can happen, on purpose or not. Others have reflected on the broader evolution of the show. Longtime fans remember the shifts from Regis and Kathy Lee to Michael Strahan to Ryan Seacrest and now to Mark Consuelos. Each era has had its signature feel, and some viewers openly wonder what the future holds. Will the show return to its pre-storm normalcy? Might there be more special guests? Could Mark's Broadway commitment lead to more hosting rotations? These questions, while speculative, highlight something important: the connection audiences feel to these hosts and the show as a whole, enough that even small changes matter to millions. What this shakeup says about live television's future. Daytime talk shows exist in a delicate balance of predictability and spontaneity. Viewers want familiar faces and comforting rhythms, yet they also crave moments that surprise and delight. The recent shakeup for Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos illustrates that balance perfectly. A winter storm forcing a live show without its audience might seem minor in some contexts, but for a show anchored in energy and connection, it becomes a moment of impact. It shows adaptability under pressure, and it reminds us that television is a living art form, shaped by weather, schedules, careers, and life's many unexpected turns. Meanwhile, Mark's Broadway milestone introduces a new chapter, one that may continue to influence the show's dynamics. The theater world demands time, dedication, and presence, making this exciting development also a logistical puzzle for the couple and producers. Yet, through all these shifts, one thing remains: the resilience of the hosts. Kelly and Mark have faced changes before, and they've weathered them with humor, charm, and authenticity, the very qualities that have kept audiences tuning in year after year. In closing, change is the only constant. The stories behind Live with Kelly and Mark continue to be as dynamic as the show itself. From weather-prompted formats to career expansions beyond the studio, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos are navigating a season of change with grace, adaptability, and an unmistakable good spirit. Television, especially live television, never stops evolving, and neither do the people who make it. For fans, that means more moments to laugh, cheer, and connect over the unscripted journey. And if there's one thing that these recent shakeups have reminded us, it's this: even the unexpected can feel familiar, as long as it's shared with hosts who feel like part of the family. Yet beyond the logistics, beyond the snowstorms and scheduling shifts, the real story unfolding is a deeply human one, a portrait of partnership under pressure. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos are not just navigating a professional shakeup, they're doing it as a married couple whose lives have long been intertwined on and off camera. For viewers, this adds an emotional dimension rarely seen in daytime television. Every raised eyebrow, every knowing glance, every teasing remark carries the weight of decades spent together. When the studio fell silent without an audience, it wasn't just a production challenge. It was a test of instinct, rhythm, and trust. In that quiet studio, Kelly leaned more heavily into her storytelling, stretching anecdotes a little longer, finding humor in the stillness. Mark, ever observant, adjusted his pacing, allowing moments to breathe where applause would normally fill the gaps. What could have felt awkward instead felt intimate, as if viewers at home were suddenly sitting closer to the hosts than ever before. Many fans later commented that the episode felt stripped down in the best way, less polished, more personal. Without the audience as a buffer, Kelly and Mark seemed to speak directly to the camera, to the viewers themselves, reinforcing the idea that Live has always been about connection first, spectacle second. Behind the scenes, producers reportedly view the episode as an unexpected experiment. In a media landscape increasingly dominated by pre-recorded content and digital platforms, the audience-free broadcast served as a reminder of live television's raw power. It also sparked internal conversations about flexibility, about how the show might continue to evolve without losing its core identity. And evolution is a word that keeps resurfacing in the Ripa Consuelos household. As Mark prepares for his Broadway run, the couple is entering a familiar yet emotionally charged territory, juggling ambition and togetherness. Kelly has spoken openly in the past about how transitions, children leaving home, career shifts, new chapters, can feel destabilizing even when they're joyful. Mark's return to the stage represents growth, but it also requires recalibration, both personally and professionally. Insiders suggest that temporary guest co-hosts may appear more frequently during Mark's theater schedule, bringing fresh voices and energy to the table. While change often triggers concern among longtime viewers, there's also excitement brewing. Fans enjoy seeing Kelly's chemistry with different personalities, and many trust that the foundation she and Mark have built is strong enough to accommodate these short-term shifts. What makes this moment particularly compelling is that nothing feels forced. There's no dramatic farewell, no abrupt departure, no behind-the-scenes scandal driving the narrative. Instead, the shakeup feels organic, shaped by weather, opportunity, and the natural flow of life. In many ways, that's why audiences remain so invested. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos don't pretend to have it all perfectly figured out. They laugh when things go sideways. They acknowledge nerves, uncertainty, and even exhaustion. And in doing so, they reflect the very people watching them each morning. Individuals balancing careers, relationships, and unexpected disruptions. As the season continues, one thing is clear. Live with Kelly and Mark is entering a quieter, more reflective era. Not in energy, but in authenticity. Whether facing an empty studio or a full house, the show's heartbeat remains the same. Because at its core, this isn't just a talk show weathering a shakeup. It's a story about adaptability, partnership, and showing up, even when everything looks a little different than planned. And for Kelly and Mark, that's nothing new at all.